to glow in the way you move. You should know just once that you're every one of all my thoughts tonight. I'll walk alone in the woods behind my home and jump at every noise. With you I put my danger in the void.
Here we are with a new episode of Pints and Pages, and I'm Nick,
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
and we are going to discuss the Chapter 2 release of Disney's Lorcana, Rise of the Floodborn. So we had our release day on Friday. I ordered what can only be described as several thousands of cards, and the store is sold out. We sold out very quickly. Probably was only available in the store for maybe 8 hours worth of open time, and managed to sell 20 booster boxes, 8 treasure troves, 6 gift sets, and several starter decks. I think 16 was the count that I had. And Disney's Lorcana is a trading card game that, for those of you that don't know, it mixes a lot of the cards are kind of built and resemble Pokemon cards, because they're characters that everybody knows, everybody loves. The mechanics are sort of like Magic the Gathering, so it's a mixture of Pokemon and Magic. But we're gonna get into the Floodborn cards. We're going to get into the mechanics. We'll probably discuss Chapter 1 to Chapter 2. We might even discuss Chapter 3 that's coming, because I think they've already released it's February, I think. February or March.
Yeah, and there's been spoilers for some of the cards already too.
It's just been hysteria. Lorcana League has been happening in the store every other Saturday since the first set come out in September?
Yeah.
Or August. Come out in August.
Yeah.
August 17th. And there's a steady stream of 10 to 12 people that are in here every other Saturday that are playing their asses off. And
Trying to.
Everybody loves it. Everybody enjoys it. So we're gonna our president, or the expert out of the three of us, is definitely Brad.
Oh, definitely.
I have cards. Levi has cards, but Brad is the
Yeah, I got a good stack. Good pile going.
He's also been
got-
playing the most.
yeah. Brad definitely plays the
He's here
most.
every weekend.
Yeah.
playing. Even
Yeah.
if it's not the Lorcana, you and Tracy or you and Nate or whoever, I've seen you guys jump around and play all the fucking time.
I try to bring them just about any time I'm down here in case somebody, might straggle in. A weekday, doesn't matter, I think it's been a good way to kind of connect with some people in the community and bring other people from other towns into our community as well that normally wouldn't be here or wouldn't have visited the shop at all. Like, we've got a few out of towners that we enjoy having them here, and they're a lot of fun to play with. They're pretty tough as nails competitors when it comes to playing against them, but it's good to have them because then we get to learn too from their experience. But yeah, I hope it takes off more. I hope people kind of consider playing more because it seems intimidating to get into something so high profile. And it is tough to get your hands on anything, but if you're just patient and you look around, you can catch stuff at fair prices still. But
I was gonna say, that's the one complaint I've heard about is like specifically for Magic players. The running joke so far has been, the pricing is really bad when even Magic players are starting to go, that's a little too much for me.
Yes.
Yeah, the aftermarket for these is still very, very high.
But there's so little of it out right now because it just came out.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I'm just hoping they get the reprints going pretty quickly.
Well, and any of the Magic players listening right now, to take a page from the professor's book is don't buy markups.
Exactly.
There's no point. Don't buy them. Just be patient. Wait. If you want to buy some singles, keep an eye on the market because right now it's early, so these new cards are going to be a little inflated. But we've seen lots of cards go way down in value from the first set. So you ain't got to rush it. Just be patient. There'll be plenty at some point. Another reprint's coming for the first set. But yeah, it can be something for anybody to get into. I've played against kids who have whooped my ass. So there's no real demographic. And I think if you calculated the age range of the people that play in our group, it would, how old's Riker? Like 12. I can't remember how old he is.
He's probably right around 12.
12, and then up to Tracy. We won't disclose her age, but
yeah. So there's
older than
there's a wide range of players, that's for sure.
It spreads a good demographic and kind of proves that everybody can connect over something.
Yeah, when I opened the store Friday at 4:30, I had a line of 10 people standing outside waiting to buy cards.
Yeah.
And they weren't pre-order people. That's why they were here, because they were trying to get what they could. I had to, hopefully they're listening. I had to limit them on what they needed, but that was only because I was trying to keep cards available to store players as long as I could. I wanted people to be able to come in and go, "You got Lorcana," and I could tell them yes. Even with the limit, I still ran out of cards.
Yeah.
Even with the limit, still ran out of cards. So, the two guys from Kokomo, the guy from Indianapolis that come in and play every week, those are the out of towners. They're great guys. They did some big pre-orders, and they have fun when they're here. They like the atmosphere here. They like the fact that I tried to keep it as even keel. They respected that I limited the amount of cards that could be bought, and that way I could keep them as available as I could for as long as I could. But I could have bought 50 booster boxes and still
You would have sold out.
and still would have sold out at some point. Maybe not. I wouldn't have done it yesterday or Saturday. I wouldn't have done it Saturday, but I would have done it eventually. Just because people just are out there looking for cards, and you even have the people that aren't trying to build decks to play, because you need 60 cards to play. So and there's 6 different colors.
6 different colors.
Yeah.
Amber, amethyst, sapphire, steel, emerald, ruby.
Okay. And then and you use 60 cards, so you can build different decks because you can use 2 colors.
Yeah, you use 2 colors.
And then you got the people that they go full on set. Like they're just they're gonna build decks, but they also want cards to build because they want the full set. They don't care if it's a standard card or if it's a foil card. They just want the full set. So,
and it looks like they're going to do 204 cards each set, not including the special enchanted ones. Obviously, they're a part of the set, but they're also the same as another version card.
Yeah.
Bonus Pints is a craft beer and wine spin on the classic arcade. Located at 422 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport, Bonus Pints is the anchor of the Bonus Building on the corner of Broadway and 5th Street. They have all your favorite classic arcade games and both classic and current pinball machines. Every Wednesday is trivia, and every Thursday and Friday there is live music. Come and bring your friends. The food, the music, the games, and the people. There is something for everyone at Bonus Pints.
So I kind of want to get into the set. What all did they come up with new mechanics, or did they just keep the same stuff with new characters? Did we get any reprints from the last set, or is it all brand new cards, all 204? I just want to hear a little, because I haven't, besides for the little bit I looked through your what you pulled, I haven't seen any of the cards yet.
So there's There's no reprints in this set. There's a lot of new characters. As far as new mechanics go, I wouldn't necessarily say there was any like full new mechanics, but there were some things used in different ways, and there were kind of some different wordings to benefit, and then a lot more interaction between other named cards. So I guess mechanically you could say there was some new stuff, but ultimately
They kind of evolved the
yeah,
mechanics,
yeah,
fleshed them out.
yeah, they seen what worked from the last stuff and what didn't. Um, to start with some kind of mechanical interaction that I took to right away is the whole Madam Mim and Merlin thing. It's a lot of bouncing your characters back and forth yourself if you need to, entering and leaving. I guess the battlefield or the playfield, entering play, leaving play. That's how they word it. But yeah, so you can still pretty much do the same things as the other, but they expanded enough to kind of round it out more. So there's more options for every color, but every color kind of has its focus, and they still stuck to that.
Which I like that because it keeps them from muddying all the waters between everything. It gives each color a purpose,
Yes.
play style.
Yeah, every color definitely has a purpose. I think what they tried to do this one, and Brad might be able to like tell me that I'm wrong, but I think from what I could see, because I didn't buy any of the new cards, but I watched people play and I could listen to them play. From the way I understood it, was this set, chapter 2, what it did was kind of so certain colors went with other certain colors for chapter 1. So what they tried to do for chapter 2 was add cards to those colors that didn't match up well, so that they matched well with colors that they didn't match well in chapter 1.
Absolutely.
I see what you're saying. Because like the first chapter, they had the starter decks with the specific 2 colors of ruby and green, purple, yellow, and whatever the other.
Yeah, it was red. It was red, yellow, purple, green, blue, gray.
Yes.
So they basically
this time they only did 2 starter decks, and they were opposite colors than what you were normally.
Yes, it was purple and silver, and then blue and yellow. And one thing I want to note on those combinations is the first pre-constructed decks, I feel like worked a lot better out of the box. The other 2, I sat down and I kind of played them. I had to completely tune one to really have fun with it. It was so kind of all over the place that it didn't work, but it had great cards in it for like a couple different themes for your decks. It was just trying to do too much at once. And where the first one, it was like, well, we ain't got enough cards to do much, so it worked. And that might be a little difference in bias, kind of how they work, because we didn't have nothing to go off of.
Right.
But I enjoyed the new color combinations for those and kind of fixing them up to work a little better for me. It got me to play some other colors. That's for sure. I stick to purple pretty hard. I just like the purple cards. And now I'm like, I got a pretty good functioning blue and yellow deck that I had a lot of fun playing. And then the deck that had purple and silver was god awful out of the box like a couple times. And I was like, what? It had all the cards I wanted in it. And so I had to take some out, put some new quantities in, and I haven't gotten to play it since I tuned it up yet. But I don't know. It looked like it was going to be a lot more fun once I got it fixed up, but I had to get cards to do that.
Yeah, and set 2 has characters that were in the first chapter, first set. They're just different cards.
Yeah.
So like Mickey is in both chapters, different cards.
Yeah, they didn't reprint anything.
They didn't reprint anything, but they did reuse characters. Gaston, Grand Duke.
We got 2 new Cheshire Cats. The first set only had 1.
Yeah.
Or wait, did we get
Dr. Facilier, Elsa. I mean, they did a lot of that. They did new variations of Merlin. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs are in the new one. They're all yellow. the weird part is they kind of are used to play each other,
Yeah.
but in a 60 card deck where you only get to 20 points, to have to try to get lucky enough to pull the dwarves and Snow White, like
It might be a challenge.
it would be a challenge. So they're definitely going to have to. I think they tried. I think they're trying to do what Magic does, where you can kind of build a Snow White and Seven Dwarfs deck. But the problem is you're going to have to put the right cards with that so that you're throwing more cards on your play field. You're getting more cards out of your deck, and you're getting that way you can get Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs out. So that way you can play them off of each other.
Yeah.
Because the mechanics, the way they play now, it tends to be slow until you get to about round 5 or 6, and you get so that you can get enough cards out so that you can really start going at it.
So
That's one thing I'm curious about, is to see how well they balance the theming of being able to do, hey, I want a Snow White deck, I want Lilo and Stitch, or whatever it may be. And then the balancing, though, that still people could take Elsa and Gronk and all of these different characters, and they still work, even though they're not from the same movie.
Right.
I'm curious to see how well they handle that.
I got a feeling your Stitches and your Tinkerbells are always, they're powerhouses right now in both set metas. I think they're going to always kind of be around. They've got some of those cards that are like, you can't stop them. Even if you release some big ones, they combo so well with stuff that they're always kind of going to be a staple. So I hope they don't focus on those in sets when they release too much and like making extra stuff for those characters. And to expand on the whole Seven Dwarfs theme, I am looking forward to definitely be able to have decks fully movie themed. To get the Seven Dwarves and Snow Whites in a deck, you have 4 copies maximum of each card, and to have all those would be 32 cards. So that's over half your deck. That means everything else you kind of put in there is better be like actions, and items. Yes, yeah. And there are dwarves that work off of each other, that if they were to stand alone in a deck with no other dwarves, they wouldn't have a good spot there. But then there's some cards like Doc, Doc's one of them that plays off the others. He lets you pay cheaper prices for other characters. And then there's one that is cheaper for other dwarves. So kind of finding that balance in there,
Well,
for the themes.
And there's 3 versions of Snow White.
Yes.
So yeah, and there's 2 versions of the Queen.
So that would bump it up to 40 for all the Snow Whites and Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, plus the 2 Queens. I mean, you're looking at almost
48.
almost your whole deck is just characters.
I will, spoiler alert for the third set, I do want to do this, and I don't care how junk and garbage it is, and you're going to encounter players that have that same thought in mind, where they don't care how junk it is, they're still building their theme. Lucky, the 15th 101 Dalmatian will be in the third set.
Oh.
Potentially. I don't know if these are real spoilers. I could be wrong.
I'm curious. I want to look at that, because you were talking about it earlier.
But we got Pongo. So I'm going to build a deck of 103 Dalmatians, both parents and all the puppies, if they release them. I don't care how long it takes. And once it's done, I will play it. 1 copy of each. There's no maximum on your deck size, but you really want to stay at 60. But I will run 103 cards just to play puppies all day.
So the company that prints the Lorcana cards, Ravensburg, came out and said that those were official leaks. It did accidentally happen, but it will not affect the future of releases at all.
Well, I couldn't see how. All it did was hype up people.
Right.
There's no way that could be negative.
Companies in the past that have, as soon as something leaks, they're like, nope, shut it down. It's not coming out. We don't want leaks to be. We don't want to encourage leaks, as in people get excited for it. So then it almost becomes a whole industry to try to leak it early, and people will benefit and make money off of that. So I can see why they would try to stop that, but I'm glad to hear it's not affecting anything.
So can you see the card?
Oh, there's pictures of people with the cards.
Is it red?
There's the starter.
Oh, yes. So
It's
he's
red.
red. He's red, and I hope.
I'm looking through a news article right now, but they have a picture of the
So
starter
it's red.
deck.
So okay.
Yeah, and Pongo's red.
And that's why I asked, because I knew Pongo was red.
So check it. If you remember from 101 Dalmatians, I guarantee half of those Dalmatians are going to be blue because what is the female Dalmatian's collar is blue. Pongo's is red. Hers is blue. So I bet you when they release her, she'll be a blue card and you will pair red and blue for the doggos. That's just speculation, bro.
But and that brings out a good point because if they decide how they're going to go with Chapter 3, and they could keep doing the movies that they've continued to do, but yeah, you definitely movie themed.
Oh,
The best thing for them to do is movie themed. Like if you're building a 101 Dalmatians deck, you're doing Snow White, you're doing Cinderella, you're doing Frozen, you're doing Beauty and the Beast, because there's a lot of those cards out there.
Treasure Planet, Atlantis, even some of the less.
I'm so excited
more,
for Treasure Planet. I found a lucky
You,
card.
you got
Strange World is going to have a card.
Really?
What's his name? The little morph, the little goo guy.
We are getting, or not Treasure Planet. What is
that's another potential leak from Chapter 3, though. But kind of tells you they don't have, like, we're not going all old Disney, and we're not going all new stuff.
And we're not going all pop culture grab either, because
Robin Hood's there, and I love that, but no one I know has seen that really old classic Robin Hood movie.
Well, but they've got those titles out there like Toy Story, you got Toy Story, which could absolutely have a deck on its own, but you could build a Pixar deck.
Yeah,
Toy Story, Monsters Inc. And they've got they definitely could be, and then if they decide. I'm not sure how I feel about them trying to do maybe a Star Wars or a Marvel. I think it'll be way, way later before they try to do any of those.
I definitely think they need to set themselves first.
I think they're gonna stick with only animated.
I don't think they're gonna. Here's with the Star Wars and Marvel thing. I don't know how that's gonna work out because Wizards is about to release a Marvel collaboration.
Yeah.
So licensing for cards for Marvel is handled through Wizards now for at least a short minute, but that license stays with them for a long enough time that Lorcana's not going to be able to. And this is why I think that Ravensburger is also picked for Disney, is because of, they're a puzzle maker, but they already had all the licensing for art for Disney and Disney characters and all that other stuff. So it was easier to get that ball rolling with them and to keep Wizards at bay because they're a little more needy and, they are who they are. So, Disney doesn't get as much say with Wizards cards, and they get to dictate every little detail of Ravensburger's business.
I also just think it'd be smart if they didn't touch Star Wars or Marvel.
But Ravensburger has Star Wars licensing for puzzles as well, and I believe they do have some for Marvel, but
if they do, and this would be the way that they would, this is the way I believe that they should go. If they ever do Marvel and they ever do Star Wars, I would prefer to see them do X-Men 97 animated series.
Yeah.
I would like to see them maybe do Star Wars Clone Wars.
Do the
animated cards, but stay away from.
Also get Bad Batch. I love
Bad
Batch.
But stay away from. In that you're probably not going to get your Lukes and your Leias and your Hans and your Chewies and your Reys.
Except for they've all appeared in Star Wars, Clone Wars.
I was going to say that,
but they could do niche.
I was going to say
animated series stuff for that.
They could do a whole section of just the droids if they wanted to in the animated series.
Yeah,
make them artifacts that that just help you out.
Yeah, or they could go that route where they're only doing locations or artifacts or different items and locations and things like that for Star Wars, and because people would just be excited for that, let alone throwing the characters in there. But they've got enough animated properties and movies over the last 100 years that, I mean, they don't need to dive into Star Wars and Marvel.
I was gonna say, and
for
this is,
years,
I think just
probably.
me personally, I don't know if it'd feel right, at least right now in the stage that it's at. If we were to get, next set, they throw in, here's some bunch of Marvel characters or Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
It just doesn't,
We
it
need
wouldn't fit
heroes.
the theming of it, in my opinion.
It would not. They would have to evolve into that. And that's where Pixar comes in, because I think
Toy Story.
Pixar is more of that gap. Like the Pixar movies
The bridge between
are the bridge between maybe these classic animated and the Marvel and the live action stuff.
Yeah.
The live action stuff. That's the best way to put it. So yeah. And if they can hold off for years, which I don't know that they will, because man, they are just pumping these out. We got August, we got chapter 1. November, we got chapter 2. February, we're getting chapter 3.
But
And it seems to be every 3 months. So every quarter, we're going to get a new set, which is what Magic does. Don't get me wrong. But man, you're pumping them out. Pumping them out.
Also, they need to get enough cards out there that people don't get bored just playing the same set over or the same 2 sets over and over again.
Yeah.
Plus, that allows them to evolve out mechanics and the locations now that we're getting, apparently.
But at that pace, like Wizards, like Magic, doing crossovers becomes essential.
Yeah.
It becomes essential because doing, Magic can't just release generic.
They're past their vanilla days. The complexity creep is a real thing.
They can't just do normal releases anymore. That's why you see the crossovers with Fallout and Assassin's Creed and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You're getting Marvel and you're getting Final Fantasy and they're announcing them years in advance for people to be prepared for them, because you can't just do every quarter new Magic cards with reprints of originals and have people buy into it. So that's what Lorcana is going to have to be aware of, is you can't just keep giving us different versions of Gaston every thing. At some point you're gonna have to stop making those cards and move on to new characters.
But that also, I was gonna say, because so far in the first 2 sets, at least, if we don't count the spoilers of the 3rd set, they did add 2 or 3 new movies, but they kept with the same for the most part.
Yeah,
and that allows them to get more cards and evolve out mechanics before they start burning up and using all these different franchises too early.
Yeah, they definitely did.
So I can see them slowing down too. Also,
the one that came out in my opinion, from the cards that I've seen, they went all out with Snow White. They really did go all out with Snow White. So, but the one they didn't go all out in, that I was kind of surprised because of the hype that the card got, was Winnie the Pooh. Because there's a couple of Winnie the Poohs and there's a Tigger, but Tigger was in the first chapter.
Yes.
But there's no Piglet, there's no Eeyore, is there Christopher
No,
Robin?
there is. There's a Piglet, there's an Eeyore, there's a rabbit, there's an owl.
I haven't seen those.
They're actually in there, but they are not high profile cards functionally. There's some filler cards, but let's see. We'll go with Owl first, because I remember seeing him.
I see some of them now.
2 different. Well, just 1 different owl. They got Archimedes from Sword and Stone as well. But yeah, he's a 1 cost 2/2 with 1 lore, which is actually a fantastic card for starting out. But there's others in that color as well, so he wasn't a huge.
I see Rabbit. He's a 5, 4/6/2 lore. Okay, so I haven't seen any of those cards. So yeah, I didn't realize that. So they did do Winnie the Pooh. a little bit more.
When
The
you
Great Mouse Detective is cards are in here in this second set, which I thought was fantastic because that is not a movie that people even relate to Disney. But the cards are fun. I don't know how they play, but the cards are fun. Um, and it was great to see something different like the Great Mouse Detective being pulled out to do different things.
See, that's one thing I like about Disney. And granted, I'm not the biggest Disney person, but I like that it's almost that perfect mix between Magic and Pokemon because you can collect these cards and love them just because the fact it's Stitch or whoever the hell, but it's still a really great game to play. Like I've played, and it's just my personal opinion, but I've played Pokemon trading card game, and it's boring as hell. I did not enjoy it.
it's a collector game.
It is. And that's what I enjoy it for.
Yeah.
But I know people that play it that love it. I think so far, just out of the two releases we've gotten, Disney has done a really good job of making it a collector, like still a collector thing, but also a great card game, like an actual fun, mechanically good card game.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see how it goes. I definitely have my favorites from the set. The Cheshire Cats, I was really looking forward to. I was not expecting more Dr. Faciliers because the first set had a lot, but
Yeah,
I went and watched that, The Princess and the Frog, just because of those cards. I had never seen it.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah, it's got me on a whole train. That's how I built one whole deck is centered around him because I just enjoyed how his cards played. Then I watched the movie and because they're song cards. And if I don't know the damn song, I want to know it because I'm going to make some cheesy ass joke while we're playing. That's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
I feel the need every time if I know the song to start fucking singing it.
Yeah.
Like and I think that's one of the amazing things about it is just how much fun and pop culture shit there is with the game.
Yeah, especially when you got Disney.
It spans over 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
I love Magic. I play it all the goddamn time. But besides for the little jokes that me and my friends have, there isn't anything that I can really like. I'm not singing songs when I play a card just because I know it or they're funny or whatever the hell.
You might pronounce it stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a swamp,
Yeah.
That says that's the most you get out of it. With all the lore, with the lore that's behind Lorcana, you get so much shit, and it's I don't know. It's the environment with the game is just awesome.
Yeah, I in the store Saturday, I was just playing Disney movies while everybody was playing. Yeah, I turned on Disney movies on the TV and it wasn't even a movie that we have cards for. Riker wanted to watch Turning Red.
Yeah.
Red Panda.
Well, there's another one, wait till those cards.
Yeah. And you've got a lot of movies like that that you just don't relate to Disney, but they're there.
I will die.
Big Hero 6.
The Coco cards.
Coco.
I haven't seen that one.
You got Big Hero 6. I think that's a good one.
Those cards I will die for.
Yeah.
I love Big Hero 6.
That's how I'm going to say it every time I play a Big Hero card.
So, just Disney can do it right. That's for sure. They can do it right.
And they got the money and the years of stuff.
And Ravensburger. I mean, if Disney has given Ravensburger a green light, and Ravensburger is doing a lot of the work for these cards, they've done a very good job of putting everything together, building a game, building mechanics. Building mechanics that can be evolved because I think the mechanics are evolved in the second set, and I think they're going to continue to do that. Like in the first set, there was only like one or two cards that could break items.
Yes.
They added more in the second chapter.
Yes, and it's necessary, but they also added a ass load of items and people who work off those items.
Yeah.
And sometimes even specifically named ones. Like if we go to the Zootopia card, let's see if I could find him. He's the fox dude. I can't even remember his name. I've got him somewhere, but he has an ability that if you what is it? Give me a second here. Let me find it. But there's a card called Popsicle, and it's an item from that movie. Let's see if I can find it. It's hard to spell some words that have been made completely up.
Nick Wilde.
Yeah, there you go. Nick Wilde. So when you play this character, you may return an item card named Popsicle from your discard to your hand. Okay, and that item does, when you play this, you may draw a card. For 1 ink, that's a big thing. You drop it, it stays on your board, and then you can banish it to remove up to 2 damage from a character. And then say you drop him, you get it right back. And if you, depending on where you're at in the game, it goes right back to the board,
Yeah.
and that kind of interaction's cool. And keeping those things working together is neat because, it's from the same movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they did that. I mean, definitely on purpose with a lot of this stuff where it kind of works together.
Oh, they added a resist thing.
Oh, they
Yeah,
did. There
yeah.
was a new mechanic.
Yeah, that was
completely-
I happened to look at Kronk and saw resist one, and then it
Yeah.
prevents 1 damage.
I can't believe I forgot that because that is actually a pretty game breaking thing. Yeah, you get
That
a
is
resist.
pretty
You get a resist 2 damage coming at you. So if I hit you with 3, only 1 goes through. If I hit you
Yep.
with the fire of the cannons, well, you get to block that whole damage. Like all those little things. The way things work, that was a really good one to add as well. I know the Cinderella with resist is hot.
I
hard
saw
for
she was
play.
high price.
She is already in the top perceived meta decks.
Really?
Yes. And then there's even more ways to play off that resist mechanic with the Prince, Tiana, Hercules, Kronk, Charge, and Matt Broom, Mouse Armor, Cogsworth, Noy, and a song by Gaston, 4 dozen eggs. Like that. If you eat 4 dozen eggs, you're going to be resisting some damage, I guess. But
I will say also, this set so far at least seems to. I don't know if they increased production numbers or what, but it is way better priced than the last one was.
I think
Not MSRP aftermarket. Let me be
the
specific.
aftermarket
Because I'm looking on
prices.
TCG Player, and I remember even the day after the first chapter was released, it seemed like almost every card was at least $5.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
And now things are starting to seem. I'm going to compare it to Magic, but how those are. You got your really expensive cards, your good cards that are anywhere from a couple bucks to $10, and then you have your penny cards.
Yeah.
They definitely mass produced this one. I don't think they anticipated the draw for the first chapter. So
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a lot of underprint with the first chapter. This chapter, the print, I think that there was still probably a shade of underprint, but they were definitely more prepared for this chapter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And the world cooled their jets a little bit too because the first release was happening with the whole Gen Con debacle where they had people waiting in line for a day ahead. There were. I heard horror stories of people soiling themselves and standing there.
Yeah.
And just the amount of traffic that went through, and they get their promo cards and then get them graded, and then they hit the market for such an outrageous price, which inflate the regular cards. And then Ravensburger has also said they're not doing convention promos. I don't think anymore. Now I don't know. I don't know if that's completely confirmed. I could be a little wrong, but I do remember seeing a thing where Ravensburger said they are not doing conventions the way they did with Gen Con because of the things people put themselves through, the things people put other people through, the influx in traffic, and it ruined the atmosphere of the convention around those lines. And they didn't know that was going to happen. They had no clue.
Yeah, no, the Ravensburger can't be blamed for that.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
And the convention itself can't even be
Yeah, the
blamed.
hysteria of people.
That is just a people problem.
Yeah,
It's absolutely
that is
a people problem.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Got any
I
more
was
questions,
just-
Levi? Yeah.
Not that I think of off the top of my head. I know how did it go with the first weekend of play with the release here? How about I haven't even asked about that.
I think it was my absolute favorite day that I've played. I don't know. It was fresh stuff, shiny new cards. We all got super lucky. Um, at the count right now is 5 enchanted cards out of this shop, which just right out the pack, $300 card generally. Get it graded, it's
Jesus.
$2,000 to $1,500 card, and Nick got 5 of them out to the community in Logansport, which would never fucking happen. You know, we'd have to go online, we'd have to drive, we'd have to travel. And the excitement that that brought was crazy. I had friends texting me, I had people messaging me on Facebook. It was just so cool. And then to get to play with those cards the following day after release, um, some people had some brewed up stuff ready to go. I had taken one of the precons and had it ready to play differently, and then I also had the one I untouched and played once and got my ass kicked. But it was still fun getting my ass kicked. It was like we're laughing. I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing? Playing a 4-person match with people that had no idea what their cards were about to do was kind of
and I would guess on release day we had 15 to 20 people in here on a regular basis through the evening from 4:30 to 9. And then on play day, we were probably about 12 to 15.
Yeah.
In here, and they were in here playing.
Butts to seats, man.
Yeah. Located at 430 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport, on the bonus level, the second floor of Bonus Pints, is the Lantern. The Lantern is a glowing light in a small town. They are a shop filled with art, clothing, books, and all your current Halloween needs. They are currently carrying cat skull candles, black cat drinking glasses, Halloween themed dresses and shirts, and some 3D horror decor that will scratch your Halloween itch. Check out their Facebook page for when they are open and what new items they are stocking daily.
And okay, so it's 5 enchanted cards. How many boxes did you say you sold?
20.
That's not also including any that weren't posted or messaged to us. Trove boxes. One of the cards was the first pack pulled out of one that he had on his shelf. It wasn't even one that somebody bought.
Yeah. Yeah, the other 4 were out.
That is like, so far, that is right around average or right under, or right above average, because it's 1 in every 72 booster packs on average.
Yes.
There's only 24 booster packs in a box.
So that's 1 every 3 boxes.
Yeah.
1 every 3 boxes.
Yeah.
So far,
I had 1 out of every 4.
Yeah. Right around
every
average.
4. And I've got
And
one.
that's the ones like you said that were posted.
Yeah, I got one booster box left.
We all got different
A pre-order. I got one pre-order that hasn't picked up yet. So
I was just curious because I do the same thing for the cool stuff like that, Magic, like the enchanted cards, and because I like to know the odds of that, and that's fucking nuts. That's 1 in every 72,
and then it's still that high.
And you guys got that many?
Yeah. And they were, like I was saying, they're all different versions. Everybody got a different one.
They were all different. Yeah, nobody got the same.
And that made me the happiest because then we all got to look at a different one.
Yeah.
And for most of us, that was the first time seeing one in person, and we got to see so many.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they only made 8.
Was it 8 or was it 10?
Let's say
Snow White had one that was pulled from the store. Madam Mim was pulled. Sisu was pulled.
Well,
Bad Guy Pete was pulled.
In total, I don't know if that's each. Were there any in the first set?
Yes, the first set had its own selection, but it definitely was. There was a good bit. I wish I had the list. It's hard to kind of get some of those lists together because it's all those clickbait article sites trying to pile them.
That's 12 in the first set.
Can't remember the name of the card that Brett got. She was a silver one from Raya.
One. Yeah, it started with an N, I believe.
Yeah. I'm so bad with some of the names of the newer movies.
Yeah.
I can remember seeing an Arthur was one that we hadn't seen pulled.
Cinderella was one, right?
Cinderella, big Cinderella, that would have been a great one to have,
Yeah.
just because she's all armored up in knight's armor, and like that's
Yeah.
just so dope.
I knew Cinderella didn't get pulled.
A lot of the cards were not shift cards or Floodborn cards. So there's Floodborn in the set, but there's also Floodborn cards, which are the cards that shift onto the top of something else for a cheaper ink cost.
Oh, okay.
And that's that's there's a mechanic that plays off of that. When you play a Floodborn character, do such and such, which is cool. But yeah, they hit normal regular cards for some enchanted, like an uncommon with an enchanted is nice because it's like the art is great. You're not going to be playing that card unless you're baller or you just like you don't care about the value. You want to look shit hot, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's how I like Magic. When I play Magic, I get them fucking big pulls. They're going straight into the sleeve and into the deck so I can look cool.
Yeah.
With Lorcana, now I probably put them on a shelf because it's Disney and they're a little more high profile.
Yeah.
But
especially because they're the Disney, especially the enchanted cards.
Yes.
Those are going to be. I've only seen 5 enchanted cards, but I've not seen the one you have.
Sisu, there's
So TCG player does not have them all listed.
Yeah, because somebody has to sell it there.
Yeah.
That was the only. Well, normally you can still at least find something for it, like a pre-order or something, a want list for it, and I couldn't even find that.
Yeah, TCG player hasn't had all the cards. Hasn't had all the cards all weekend. So
it's weird. I'm used to Magic where they have all of it instantly because also Magic has a bunch of money grabbing whores.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see what they do with the second batch of league stuff. See what promos we get, what kind of pins we get.
Yeah.
That was such an awesome thing to do with the first set, and we're still playing off of that as well because a lower number of people. A lot of these stores will get 50 people a week playing, and so we get your odds for playing with us are more likely to get a promo card every time you show.
Promo card or a pin.
Yeah, you're very, very likely to get something. That's not always the case at the other places because depending on participants. So I'm excited to see what promo cards come because I got a few from the league last time, and we played a tournament down in Indy where I got my ass kicked, but I dropped one of those promos on the table and I got that reaction. Whoa, you're playing a promo? And I'm like, yeah. It was 3. Of course I'm going to play it. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, and Ravensburger is behind on sending out the kits for Chapter 2. So as soon as the stores get them, I'll get them out. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do for that. I'm excited to see how they evolve the league play if they do the league play. It's all been, they've just handled everything pretty well. I'm waiting still. I still got back orders for Chapter 1 cards that I think even when they show up, will still sell. People still come in and buy them. I'll be one of those people.
Yeah, I have lots of cards I need from the first set to fill out different deck ideas for myself, and I have no problem buying a single for Magic, but there's just something about buying a single for Lorcana that kind of puts me off because of some of the prices. And I'm like, this card's not good enough to warrant that big of a price.
Right.
And I'm like, we're in an age where even if you didn't print enough the first time, you have the capacity to print way more than anybody did in 1993.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do that when you can buy 35-cent cards for some of them that are actually just as strong as the ones that's $35.
Yeah.
It's all about how you play it, skill, and if you watch internet videos and see what the meta is for competitive, you'll notice that the cards featured in tournament winning decks value increase very quickly, regardless of common, uncommon, rare, or whatever, because people just jump on them and they know they can sell them because I want to play these combos. It's like, I like the hunt for this one.
That's a big thing with Magic. Anytime a tournament happens, whatever the top 8 decks are, all of those cards just got a 30% increase in value.
Yeah.
Every single time. It doesn't matter what cards they are. It could be just the land that maybe didn't even see that much play, but just because it's in the deck. Well, people go online and go, well, they made top 8. That means I'll at least make top 8 my Friday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna piss off all the casual players because I went out and got the shit hot cards,
Yeah.
running Dockside and Extortionist with like people who's playing precons. And you're like, what are you doing, dude? Come on now.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see because Magic has a lot of celebrity players, especially through YouTube and stuff. I'm interested to see as Ravensburger and Lorcana build and the decks evolve and become, I guess, closer and closer to Magic because I think that's the direction that they'll head.
Definitely.
Will some of these celebrities start throwing down Lorcana games?
I want to be one of those celebrities. I would once we get progressed a little further and we start shooting some video for our podcast. I want a segment of Lorcana play where we just throw down and we have a good time. There's
definitely down with that.
There's lots of command zones game nights, like that stuff hits so hard when you watch. Like it's so much fun to watch those guys, and I want to be that charismatic Lorcana player.
Because my brain goes to I watch YouTube all the time. My first thing was I just typed in Disney's Lorcana on YouTube. There's the highest view thing I'm seeing is 200,000, which blows my mind with how high of a price it is, how much hype there is with it.
Yeah.
To me, is along the lines at this point with some of the Magic product that comes out, but yet there's no social media presence of it. Like, I never see it on my Twitters or my YouTube pages or anything like that. Nothing gets recommended to me. No one's actually doing anything online with it.
Yeah, well, and to throw that even further is that what we've done here in the store, which is not what people do, and we played multiplayer.
That's what I'm talking about.
We played Disney Lorcana like it's a commander game.
Yeah,
basically with 4 people. And we didn't really change the rules other than we just added more lore to make the game a little bit longer.
4 cannon, man.
Yeah.
We got it already.
And so, I mean, so to be able to add video to this podcast and do a 4-player Lorcana just for people to see that that's what we're doing, I think would be,
Well, and how do you think EDH started? That's how EDH started.
It started as Elder Dragon Highlander, and it just started as a bunch of people randomly making a format, deciding we're going to try it this way.
Well, and that's why I'm going to have the last laugh when our format will have 103 cards for our commander.
103?
That way you can play every Dalmatian. I got Pongo as my commander here.
That would be. I don't know if they'd ever do something like Commander, but I'd be curious to see how they could. You know what I mean? Because Commander has the specific thing with you have to have your legendary creature as your commander. I wonder how they would specify that.
Floodborn character as your commander. It's already they're hashing it out.
It's being built in. That's interesting because you could take a shift character.
You gotta have a Floodborn.
It's not has to be a shift.
It has to be a shift. You could do a shift character as your commander.
Yeah,
it has to shift onto its other version.
Yeah, absolutely. It can't go on with the playground until you throw out something you can shift it on.
That would be interesting.
And
because that definitely then, because the whole point of Commander is your commander is essentially your theme of your deck.
Yes.
And that fits, that would literally make it the theme.
It'd make it a Peter Pan deck. It would make it a Captain Hook deck. It would make it.
Color restriction wouldn't be possible, but I think if you run that kind of thing with still the 2 color restriction, but you can only have 1 copy of each, you can still hit that 100.
You'd have a lot of cards that you probably weren't favorable of, but you definitely hit the 100. Maybe you know the cards better than I do.
I'm gonna do some.
Well, right now there's
searching
only
real quick.
408 cards.
Yeah,
But
So
that's 408 times 408 combinations. There's plenty of decks you could still build out of that.
Yeah, if you did the two colors, definitely.
And
that would be
the
one
draw.
thing I'm curious to see is if they ever get off of the 2-color restriction.
I don't know that they will, since they've only got
And they have one more color than Magic.
yeah. I don't know. Well, they could. It depends.
Well,
the only reason Magic got off of it.
Magic never had it.
Oh, they never had it.
They never had a restriction on colors,
okay.
to my knowledge.
The biggest thing for
the restriction on colors for standard and those types of format is depending on what the hell you're willing to do yourself. So what you want to try to pull off in that deck for colors. With Commander, you're beholden to that commander. So for it to work in Lorcana, you'd have to play one color, and that's not going to work because to pass that 100 card mark, you have to have at least two colors. There's 136 cards for each color combination. So red blue's got 136. Yeah, yellow silver's got 136. Like, you could do it, but maybe take the color restriction off, and then I don't see how some people build pretty weird,
Yeah, or you don't have to take the color restriction off, but maybe you do. You can't have 4.
We're smaller deck.
Maybe. Well, yeah, you could do 100 cards. Maybe instead of allowing you 4, you're allowed 2.
Yeah, and that could work until
that way
more sets come out.
Yeah. You could do 2 colors. You can have no more than 2 cards, and you get 100.
But
then but technically you got 99 plus your whatever the theme of your whatever shift card is. So,
but you could absolutely function with every other type. You could port every other type of format from Magic to this easily, aside from Commander. Standard, limited, sealed.
Oh yeah,
vintage. Even though we're not really at the stage for those older formats.
Say legacy, vintage, and modern would make no sense.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But technically, you
really
still could.
The same as standard, just with a different restriction of they have to be old cards.
Yeah.
Well, except modern is everything from a certain point up. And vintage and legacy was just a certain point back.
So standard, I guess standard and modern would be modern play the newest set, standard play both sets, vintage play the first set, and that's how that would work. It's not a lot of variety, but the bones are already there, and it's gonna just slowly turn into that same thing, I think.
Right.
Oh yeah, it'll slowly not be exactly like Magic, but they're gonna be essentially competing card games with each other, in my opinion. Not necessarily that they have to compete against each other, but that's, I imagine, how the businesses are going to look at it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I know already between us and the guys that play here, most people that play Magic play Lorcana. The only, like I said earlier with the joke, is the only thing was the price of it. It's the only reason they never got into it to begin with.
Right.
Which now they're making new stuff, so everyone's going to get into it.
But there is one thing I would like to say about the community of Lorcana players versus the community of Magic the Gathering players. It's a much more diverse group. You're getting moms, you're getting dads, you're getting their kids, you're getting all kinds of people. And Magic players need to keep their mouths shut and their attitudes at bay because they're making fun of people playing Lorcana. And it's like, what world did you live in before this was here? People did that to you, and you're treating other players like crap. You're crapping on the game sometimes. And I just wanted to kind of remind everybody that we all come from the same world. We're all doing the same thing. So, there's been some negativity from battling communities. We all need table space. We all need places to play. But that is something I have seen to really uptick on social media. Of course, we all should just stay away from that shit anyway. But it's kind of wild. And we just want to play. We just want to live our childhoods. And I'm sorry, but Magic characters are not movies. They're not people we know. They base them off of some things, and we can relate. But
that's why I mean that's the same with everyone else. That's why I gravitated towards Lorcana. Don't get me wrong, I'll always play Magic. But probably enjoy it more because it's what I grew up with.
I like high fantasy too, though.
Right. But that is the biggest thing is, like I said to Dad, coming into the game, you don't know what a fucking Eldrazi is, or a sliver, or this or that, and all of these things are relatable. I don't understand why anyone would. I've not seen it. Granted, I'm not in a lot of the communities like you, but I don't get why they talk shit. Because I mean, like you said, everyone talks shit on them all up until now.
Yeah, and I've been met with it face to face at sealed events for Magic. And I enjoyed playing that sealed event, but listening to the players talk shit about something I like while I'm sitting at the table next to them, being quiet and having fun in their game is a little off-putting. So yeah, I just want to remind everybody to chill the hell out and fucking enjoy some life.
Yeah,
we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, and it's just two different games. And I get it, it's Disney, but you're playing a game that is brought out by Wizards of the Coast, who, in my opinion, is way worse than Disney at this point.
Oh yes,
which is way worse than Disney. So don't. I mean, it's
hey, they'll both send the fucking Pinkertons after you.
exactly. and don't get your panties in a bunch because they're taking up table space because they're still playing. Basically, they're playing your game with Disney characters,
and they're pumping absolute big dough into your home spot.
Yeah, your world. They're keeping stores open. People are excited. People are ready.
I was gonna say it's any hype for TCG just brings more hype for Magic. Whether they're going to directly correlate and play it or not, it's no matter what, it's going to get more acceptance and more spotlight for all TCGs together.
We've had a few Lorcana players actually buy Magic decks because we told them that it really wasn't that much different from Magic, and they enjoy being in the store and playing Lorcana so much that they bought some precons just so that they could show up for Magic night. They enjoy. It's not. It's a shame that people put it into Disney Lorcana and Magic the Gathering because, like you just said, it's all trading card games.
Yeah,
it's all a community. It's all about people getting together and playing a game that's fun, and that's all it is about it. But and like I said, they've bought Magic precons just so that they could come out and I'm like, they're not even worried about whether or not their deck will win or not. They just want to come out and play people and have fun. The hard part for them has been, and for Magic Night, is that these people buy precons, and the precons for Magic are Commander. And then there is a strong group of people come into the store that just won't play Commander.
Yeah, and I would love to expand to those other formats, but it's kind of hard to build those other formats with what's available on Magic.
That's located at 430 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport. On the bonus level, the second floor of Bonus Pints, is Savini Comics. Savini Comics has all your toys, gaming, and comic needs. We have Dungeons and Dragons. We have Magic the Gathering. We have Pokemon. We have Disney Lorcana. We have Marvel and DC comic books. We have Marvel and DC figures. We have Star Wars. We have wrestling. Come join us at Savini Comics for all your gaming, toys, and comic book needs.
I was going to say, that's something that I wish Wizards wouldn't have taken away. Because we used to have starter decks like Lorcana. That's how I first got into Magic. For the longest time, the only thing I ever bought, most things I would trade for or whatever, was a starter deck for Standard.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I think shortly after I started playing, I can't remember what year it was, they took those away. They weren't selling that well because a lot of Standard players were like, well, I just go online and buy my cards, not thinking about new players, people that have never even bought a Magic card or seen a Magic card that just want to get into now that we have Lorcana, but back then it was other TCGs that were semi-popular.
I only play standard on Arena right now because I can get cards for free
Yeah.
to fill out those 4 quantities. Whereas, like, most of the cards you need to have a good time in standard are $15 a piece. That means for 4 cards, you're spending $60 and you need 60 cards.
Yeah. And what we've ran into is,
College.
I know of
That's
at
where you
least,
drafting that would help, because going and get,
Yes,
playing drafts
yes.
and opening those packs.
I know of at least 3 people that were in here last time we were playing Magic that just couldn't play because there wasn't a commander game they could get into,
Yeah.
but all they've got is commander decks because they bought precons.
Yes.
And they're like, it was a struggle to find them a game to play in because I have people that can build commander decks but refuse to play commander.
Yes, yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. You got your preferences, um, but man, I just wish some of those other formats were ready to go. And with Lorcana, we got basically one format that runs smooth, and everybody
Yeah,
plays
because
it.
I think that the commander people, not the commander people, but the people that bought the precons would have bought, they would have bought probably a precon for commander and a starter deck so that they could play either format. Because,
I
like
would
I
have.
said, they weren't concerned with winning; they just wanted to be able to play. So then you come in here and you can't play because you've got to. I mean, because your deck is wrong,
I mean,
and they don't
yeah.
want to come up to the counter and buy 15 packs of cards to try to build a standard deck. I mean, that's not fair to them either.
I would, and I'm not a big fan of proxy playing, but at a certain point, that's where you got to let it slide in. That's where you got, like, with Magic, you kind of sometimes got to let those proxies slide in so people can play.
I'm hit or miss on proxies.
No proxies in Commander. You got to buy 1 card. Go fucking buy it.
Yeah.
But if we're playing standard and we just want to play standard, proxy up a couple of those copies. Have one maybe at least, or
I was gonna say, because
you know,
I'm a commander player, I look at it as long as I have 1 copy of it, the other 3 being proxies, especially because we're not doing actual tournament plays
Yeah.
just for fun play. I don't give a fuck.
yeah. If I ain't playing for money, then you don't need to own the card. Like, let's just play. Because if I ran proxies of a deck that I play on Arena, I would have so much fun. I love it. It's such an engaging thing to play, but I can't afford it. It's
Yeah.
like $400 for the whole fucking thing.
Right.
And I'm like, that's more than I probably spent on half of my Magic already.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's one of the reasons, like, all of us, my Magic group, got into Commanders, because we used to play Standard or Modern, but it was way too expensive to build a deck. Or if you tried to build a cheap version of a deck, we'd go to Kokomo or Lafayette, and you
Yeah.
just get stomped 0-3 into the ground, and you're like, well, what was the point in this?
And we still come across that with Lorcana because it's inexpensive. But there's such a low number of cards that it's also really
You can
easy to
still open
bypass it.
packs.
You can still open packs, you can bypass it and build. And if you just read your cards and do some thinking, that's not too bad. And if, there's some people like that just stick to their colors and that's all they play, they'll learn that, or they'll learn one deck and they'll just try to figure that one out. Or me, who wants to build every damn thing you can imagine. Like, I can't. That is the one thing that is kind of a curse for me in both games. Is I just want to build everything, and like I want to try this and I want to try that. It gets expensive.
You're a kid in a candy store right now.
Yes, absolutely. I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I can settle down for a minute, and then they release the Fallout deck for dog meat is an enchanted deck or an enchantment deck, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to buy that because it's my favorite style of play, Magic. With Lorcana, it's like new mechanics that I can relate to those styles of play. When those hit, like, all right, I got to try out the new mechanic. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to build that whole resist deck. I've already built an entire Merlin Mim deck just so I can sit there and bounce and play with my own cards and make you sit there for a turn while I probably don't even accomplish a whole lot of nothing, but I'm having fun because I'm playing cards. And I got my draw deck where I'm just drawing cards, and you love drawing cards. I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically I just want to try to get an endless stream of cards coming into my hand where I don't ever run out. And even if I don't win, it don't matter because I'm like, oh, another card, another card, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm
It's
itching
fun.
to play like right now. Like it's kind of hard to
It's fun.
stave off the urge.
Yeah, it's fun. Where are we at time wise?
About an hour 8.
Wow, that was a quick
It
hour.
was a quick hour.
Yeah.
So
What all right. Let's go around the table and number one character or item or song. Okay, we'll do one of each. We'll start off with the character. What's the one character you want to see in Lorcana, Levi?
And that'd be Disney or have they done any Pixar yet?
No Pixar.
No
We'll go
Pixar,
with straight
just Disney.
classic Disney animation, just going off of kind of how they've released cards now.
Honestly, just I couldn't think of a specific character, but just anything from Treasure Island. I love that movie so
Yes,
goddamn much.
yes. I can agree with that too. We were talking about that Saturday. Any particular character from Treasure Island?
I don't know, not any off the top of my head. I'm bad. I don't
How about that? The robot. Was it Robin Williams voiced the robot?
I think so. Let me look it up.
That was
I
excellent.
think of that. It's been so long since I've seen that.
John Silver's in it right now. So that's the one character from Treasure Planet that's in it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know.
there's a item card too, isn't there?
There's what?
Is there an item or a song card too?
Oh, there might be. Yeah, there might be something.
Yeah, I think there's an item or a song card or something.
What about you, Nick? What's one character that you want to see as a card?
I can tell you two, but I'm gonna go offbeat because I'm not gonna stick with classic. I want to see Woody and Buzz.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to see Toy Story.
I
want to
yeah.
see Woody and Buzz.
That would be fantastic.
Martin Short did the voice.
Martin Short, that's who was.
As Ben.
But yeah, I want to see Woody and Buzz. I want to see a Toy Story deck with all the things, with all the characters, the dinosaur and Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head and Slinky Dog and Woody and Buzz and what was the neighbor?
Sid.
Sid and Sid
With all
and
his fucked up
Dude.
toys.
You got a friend, and is that going to be your
you got
song
a-
pick
yeah,
too?
you can say me. The aliens, location.
The claw.
Yeah, pizza. You got Pizza Planet.
Oh, yes.
So like that. I mean, that is. I would love to see Woody and Buzz in it.
That's
Toy
what
Story.
cool.
Yeah.
I guess. See, I've got. Of course, I want the Dalmatians, but that ain't gonna be my number one pick. Maleficent was a dragon in the first set. Okay, they released a dragon version of Mim in this set, as well as Sisu. I want Pete's dragon. I want Pete's
Okay.
dragon because it was when I was a very little kid, it was a movie I loved. But it's another dragon, but a good dragon. So we'll have two bad ones, two good ones, and you can build off of playing some dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a new item called Fang Crossbow that you can banish a chosen dragon character. So it would be nice to have another outlet, and I can't think of too many other dragons. And yeah, Pete Dragon was my big thought
Pete's
from over the
Dragon's a good
weekend.
one. That's a good one.
All right, so Disney song. What's a Disney song you would like to see, Levi?
I'm not too sure. I can't think of any of the songs off the top of my head if you want me to be honest. I'm gonna say skip me, I'll think of one. Go ahead, Dad.
So, I mean, You Got a Friend in Me is the easy choice, but I'll go with, and I'm not so sure it wasn't in the set. I don't think it was. I don't remember anybody ever making it, but what about Circle of Life?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't remember that being in the first set.
Oh, discard. Dude, I feel like that could be a discard your character and then play a character from your hand.
Yeah.
It's a Circle of Life, Death and Rebirth.
Yeah. Like Circle of Life by Elton John.
If you got a Simba card, hold it over your head.
Yeah. That would be that was a missed moment, but Lion King is part of the decks, so I mean, you could definitely see that in one of the other chapters.
I just can't wait to be king would be another good one.
Yeah, that would be a good
from
one too.
that. Oh, give me 1 second. I got to look up the actual title of this song.
You're not going with Puff the Magic Dragon?
No. Um,
I got mine. Mine would be, and I don't know if it's already in because I know they have a little bit of the Jungle Book, but I Want to Be Like You, which is the monkey song.
I don't think it's in there.
Yes, that would be great. No, there's like one blue card,
Yeah,
and then there's not like a whole lot from the Jungle Book.
and then the monkey's in there too.
There is.
I was gonna say I couldn't remember the title of it, so I
Bare Necessities is in there.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, Bare Necessities is in there.
I had to type in Jungle Book, the monkey song.
Oh, God, I can't think of it. I'm trying to think of the damn song title. I can hear it in my head right now.
You can just bust out into song here in a second.
I might have to. And give me 1 more second. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it.
What's it from?
Well, Phil Collins sings it. It's a softer, sappier song.
What soundtrack did he do?
Is it from Tarzan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tarzan.
Is it
Actually just anything from Tarzan. But yeah, give me a yeah, You'll Be in My Heart. Like that song just plays in my head. Like
yeah.
Phil Collins is great.
Phil Collins from Tarzan.
Or there's already some Michael Bolton in there, Go the Distance.
Yeah.
Like all those classic. The music has just been so great.
Yeah, Hi-Ho is in there, right?
Is it?
I thought it was in the new set.
All right.
Hi-Ho.
Let me pull my app up and I'm going to look for every song card.
Yeah, I thought it was in there. Bippity Boppity Boo is in there from Cinderella. This stuff from Beauty and the Beast, those songs are, a lot of those are in there too.
Yes. 4 dozen eggs.
So, items.
Ooh.
If I have to rethink, 'cause I don't know if you guys would consider him actually a character, but the magic carpet from Aladdin.
Oh,
as an item.
That would be
as an item. That would be really, really cool.
Get a character. Do they have flying? Because if not, give them evasive.
There's evasive. That would be good. Yeah, that would be good to stick on them. Let's see. We've got Strength of a Raging Fire from Mulan. Let the Storm Rage On, Frozen. Grab Your Swords, Beauty and the Beast, A Whole New World from Aladdin. One Jump Ahead from Aladdin, 4 dozen eggs from Beauty and the Beast, Let It Go. I don't really need to tell everyone the title of that one.
That we've all heard 50 million times.
You Can Fly, Peter Pan. The Most Diabolical Scheme from what's the mouse one? The Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah, the Great Mouse Detective.
Teeth and Ambitions. Sudden Chill from the 101 Dalmatians. Be Prepared from Lion King. Go the Distance. I already mentioned that one. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Mother Knows Best from Tangled. Reflection, Mulan. Legend of the Sword and Stone from Sword and Stone. Gruesome and Grim from Sword and Stone. Friends on the Other Side. My fucking favorite because it's a draw card and that song is dope. Princess and the Frog for that one. Zero to Hero. The World's Greatest Criminal Mind, which I think is also from Mouse Detective. Be Our Guest. That was the number one song that absolutely had to be in there.
What about, is there any cards from Emperor's New Groove?
Yes, there's lots of them.
Okay.
There's 2 different Cuscos, Pacha, Kronk,
that's right.
Yzma.
They were in the first deck.
Most of them were in the first deck. Pacha, Kronk, and Lamified Cusco is in this one.
My item, I mean, you said it earlier, a fantastic item would be the claw machine.
Yeah.
I almost chose that one.
Yeah, that would be a fantastic item.
If Toy Story is a hard one for items because everything is an item.
Technically, yeah, technically, the characters are all items.
Yes.
You can
The
do
Acme rocket, the little rocket city.
yeah, you
Do
can
the
do
toy chest.
Yeah.
You can do Buzz's ship.
Yeah.
Toy chest could be a location.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
think about
Sith
that.
room, another one.
Pizza Planet is a
Yeah,
location.
Toy Story's got the locations down.
Yeah.
Pride Rock would be a good one for
Yeah.
Mikey.
You could, but yeah, I mean, wall machines, I think a great idea for an item. Um,
Shit, it could also be a location because they get stuck in there.
yeah, technically it could. And that's where I'm at is like, what's a location and what's not? Because I would love to see ships,
Yeah,
the ship from Treasure Planet or Captain Hook's ship, or like, but those are kind of locations rather than items. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
There's so many things.
You could do poison apple.
I think
Like,
there is one.
Is there a
Poison Apple came out in this newest
in this
set.
new set?
I don't think it's technically. I don't know if it's an item or if it's just. Let's see what we got here. We've got the Dingle Hopper, the lantern from Tangled, Ursula's shell necklace, magic mirror, Ursula's cauldron, White Rabbit's pocket watch, the poisoned apple, stolen scimitar, from Aladdin, Dr. Facilier's cards, shield of virtue, which I believe is that Maleficent or is that Sword and Stone? Red Shield. I can't remember where that's from.
Looks like Sword and Stone.
I think so. Sword of Truth, the coconut basket, Eye of the Fates from Hercules. That's a good item. Just like because of that was such a prolific item in the movie.
Yeah.
The fishbone quill, magic golden flower.
What about the bell from Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Ooh, Hunchback would be a good character.
Yeah.
Yes. There's the dinner bell from something else. I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell what some of these are from. Gumbo pot from. Yeah.
Princess.
Yes. Thank you. The Last Cannon. There's a weight set. Mickey Mouse's armor, which some of these items are made up as well. I had the item I was thinking of, but I lost it. Oh, it's kind of a dark one. But I play a lot of Maleficent, and I want her wings as an item.
Oh.
Give chosen character evasive.
Yeah.
Touch on that whole flying thing. Yeah, Maleficent gets her wings back, and she's a pretty formidable opponent as soon as she gets those back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. I want her wings.
Yeah.
Just like that corrupt bastard wanted them. I want her wings.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be cool.
About you?
For sure.
Think of an item?
Yeah, I said the magic carpet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
The magic carpet from Aladdin was a good one. Because that's an item that you could have flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about like ropes from Tarzan or something like that? You could add flying. Yeah, vines.
A banana, and it's, Tarzan's hand holding a banana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Dingle Hopper is such a good item because it's a whole thing. It's all within, a focal point.
Yeah.
But there are stuff that aren't focal points as items too.
Yeah.
Like the sardine can. Mice sleeping in a damn sardine can. That's just a bed. It was a, kind of like, oh, that's good use of that. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me. Speaking of sardine can, you also got Ratatouille.
I didn't think about Ratatouille.
Yeah,
that would be a good set of cards.
I
That would
love
be a good.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
You could use the pot and the spoon from Ratatouille as an item or something like that. That would be a good one. Lady and the Tramp. What about the table?
the meatball.
The meatball. Yeah.
His chef hat could technically be one since we have those leaked Tide cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a location.
Yeah.
Chef's hat. Yeah, but that might get a little kind of strange trying to hide a giant Maleficent dragon under your hat.
But yeah, you got like Lady and the Tramp, Fox and the Hound.
The item, one of my favorite items in the game is the plasma rifle, or the plasma blaster from Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and
Just
Stitch.
pings you for one damage.
Yeah. And you can just do it over and over and over and over again.
And you can get 4 of them out and be like,
Yeah. Yeah. And the bad part about it is unless you had the only 2 cards in the deck that could break an item, they just got to hit you with it every single time.
Well, and it's all the item break cards are silver, I think. So that item is also silver. So most likely, unless you mirror match up, most people aren't going to have breaking your items.
Right.
I know blue is strong in playing off items. That'll be fun to see. But I don't know. There's a lot of things I'd love to see from the movies.
Yeah, that is for sure. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm pleased with how they've handled it so far.
Okay, how about an action card that's not an action card that's not a song? Because there's actions that just do something real quick, and it's not a song, and it's not anything. Yeah.
So it's almost like an instant.
Yeah, something that happened in a movie. Let me look here. Clear my results. Trying to give you a good idea. No, it's not like Fire the Cannons. Fire the Cannons or Smash. Marshmallow from Frozen has an ability. Like it's just an action card and it's Smash, but it features him on
There's Smash, there is Fire the Cannons. There's something else that somebody always hits me with too. You know, Fire the Cannons they hit me all the time with, but
I need enchantment light cards because those are my favorite thing to play.
Just in time for Maui when he comes in.
Yeah.
Freeze from Frozen, Befuddle, where Sword and Stone fucks you up. Simba and Mufasa, you have forgotten me.
Yeah,
that's an action. I would like to see Andy's Home tap all characters, exert all characters. So they stay exerted until your next turn or something, like exert all opponents.
Or untap them.
Or
untap them.
Yeah, something.
If you play it at the end of your turn, you get to untap all your cards.
But I thought that would be a good action. Andy's Home! All your cards exert, unexert something. Because they all fall down, so I figured.
They exert,
Exert up to...
Yeah, but you want your characters to be untapped, so they can't be attacked.
Not necessarily. Because there's some that play off of being exerted.
That's
your bodyguard's being exerted. You could... there's ways that it could function a little better, but...
Andy's Home is a good one.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a good one. You got one, Levi?
No.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I don't know.
Or like Vicious Betrayal's another one where Scar throws fucking off the cliff. Dragon fire.
Well, if you want to go Toy Story, you could be like when the bear turns on the trash compactor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Toy Story 3.
Oh, God, you're going to make me cry.
Yeah.
Work Together is from Emperor's New Groove, where they're back-to-back trying to walk up the mountain thing. Break. That's the break the items one, and it's where Beast is just breaking shit. Or Ransack.
You could do Ringing the Bell with the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That would be an action.
Sanctuary.
Yeah, that would make more sense in an item.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
There you go. Sanctuary. That's where you unexert your characters, because now they're safe from attack.
Yeah.
And then Andy's Home is where all your opponents are fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Ring the Bell is kind of different because Ring the Bell is Great Mouse Detective. And it's already a card.
It's already a card?
Banished chosen damage character.
Oh, okay.
So, it's where they're trying to attract the mice.
Okay.
I haven't seen that movie, so I don't really...
What about Cinderella when they're sewing the dress? You could do something with that.
Yeah.
The
glass slipper.
Yeah.
The fucking pumpkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
You got the you could put going to work and have something with the seven dwarves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. I know you have the song, but you could still do going to work.
Oh, Sleeping Beauty. Good action card would be like the Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although people kind of have deemed that a little unacceptable these days. Or that's Snow White, where he wakes her up with a kiss.
The
No.
Sleeping Beauty.
Well,
They
like
do
Snow
it in
White.
both of
They
them.
do it in both.
Yeah,
They do it in both of them.
Yeah, they do it in both.
Yeah, I think they do it in both because that was the only storyline Disney could come up with in the 30s.
Yeah.
Plus,
You got to wake up a
yeah.
sleeping princess with a kiss.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a million different things you can choose.
Yeah. There's a lot of action.
I'm trying to look around for inspiration.
You could do Monsters Inc. Grab a door.
No, yeah.
Like, you could do that. You could grab
2319.
Yeah.
Yes.
2319.
Yeah, you could grab a door.
Or the sock as an item.
Monsters Inc. would be able to switch locations so much.
They would. Yeah.
The door as an item, switch location.
Yeah. Could you imagine what's the character, the old lady that yells at him all the time? Could you imagine her? Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good character to have. Like, I don't know what they put on her, but that would be great. That would be great. Wachowski. Yeah. Wachowski. That would be fun to do.
Well, and there you go. That's another one of those times where I can guarantee if I had that card every fucking time I played it, I'd probably do that whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You'd have to.
That's another thing. I don't know what the hell Shieldred says in Magic, but I know what the fuck every other character says in Disney. I don't know what the hell is this? Yeah.
Phyrexian, so good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
A bunch of squiggles.
I can't even read that. It looks like fucking someone done scratch.
You know how most games will make a translation for another language? They literally just put squiggles down. Like, there's an actual language, but they don't have a translation. The card designer basically just fucking, to my understanding.
There's a guy that works at Wizard. They're like, okay, take this paper to him. He's gonna give us what it looks like, but nobody else knows it, and he's the Phyrexian, that hides in the basement, and probably the creepiest dude. Yeah, he's the creepiest dude around, and he just makes it up for him, and then it's like, okay, print this on the card, and they're like, all right, nervously walk away.
That's funny. That's funny.
And that is a very valid point. Like I said earlier, it's why I really enjoyed getting into Disney. Because you know everybody, and it's really funny to just throw out goofies and make them attack Simbas.
Or like every time I play against somebody playing blue, I make sure I let them damn well know I am not killing your Grandma Paula. Like I'm from Moana. I'm not killing her. She turns into ink as soon as you do. I ain't doing it. Like, she's gonna sit there. You get your one more every time. I ain't killing her. Like, I ain't helping you. She was my favorite character from that movie anyway. Like, she got a cool ass back tattoo, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go die in the ocean now. See you. Like, nope.
Yeah, and you get in that. If you've got 4 of those in your hand, and you can get them out in the first 5-6 rounds, like, it's deadly, especially if it starts dying because you can ink her.
Well, and that's that leads me to the next thing. Madam Mim, purple and blue. You either banish some of her cards, you have to banish a character or return it to your hand.
Ooh.
So banish your Grandma Paula. And she turns into ink, and you get to play a card.
Right.
Or, bouncing stuff around. I might be a little mixed up on those mechanics, but I know there's some cards where you can choose to banish a character, but it never says who. So banish your own. People need to start sacrificing. They don't know about the sacrifice yet.
We're gonna get to go Gary.
Yeah, God love it.
Yeah.
Just wait, I got a deck for you too. I built me something nice. But yeah, like I'm ready to sacrifice some stuff.
See,
I'm ready
that's something
to.
I'm really excited for is to see people's brains with Disney, with Lorcana, start to see them figure out those kind of plays. Because since it's a newer card
Mhm.
game, people don't think like that. They just read the cards and use the cards for what they say,
Yeah.
basically.
There was I seen one YouTube video where a guy found a infinite loop combo, and I have all the cards to do it. And I might have to do that as a competitive scene where you can infinite loop and win and quest your points out in one turn. Well, not one turn. Like you'll have to get to like turn 5 and then they're fucked. But yeah, there's some infinite combos in there already. Wait till you find them. I'm not going to tell you what they're made of though.
No advantage.
Yeah, no advantage. I gotta be the first one to do it in the shop. Not if I use it first. Yeah.
So, all right. So, good discussion on
Yeah. I mean, I could keep going if we wanted to, but I kind of got to take a leap,
Yeah. So I think we're gonna call it. So this has been our Disney Lorcana Chapter 2 Rise of the Floodborn episode. And I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
And we're going to see you next time. All right.
There is a glow in the way you move. You should know just once that you're every one of all my thoughts tonight. I'll walk alone in the woods behind my home and jump at every noise. With you, I put my danger in the void. Yeah, I like the way you feel on me. When you cross my arm, I lose something. Yeah, I like the way you feel on me. When you cross my arm, I lose something. I catch you swimming,